Good morning and welcome to my kitchen. Today I would like to share another recipe that I grew up with, something from my country. Grandma used to make this a lot and her house smelled amazing, especially for holidays, but also almost every weekend. Weekends were always for friends and family. There was coffee, conversation, and a piece of cake. And this is yeast-based cake with apples and cinnamon. There's nothing I can compare it to right now because her house was a different layout and the brick oven that she held built in the wall. There's nothing like this anymore. Welcome to my kitchen and thank you for watching. For today's cake, I will need 3 cups of flour, sifted, packet of dry yeast, stick of butter, 250 milliliters of warm milk mixed with either teaspoon of honey or teaspoon of sugar, have a cup of sugar, 3 egg yolks, 1 fresh apple, 1 can of fried apples, cinnamon and brown sugar. And on the end, I will make a crumble to go on top of that cake. And the first thing I do is dissolve the yeast in warm milk with either teaspoon of honey or sugar. And I will set it aside as it will take a few minutes to get active. When I see it foamy, then I know it's ready. And as far as the other ingredients, I have 3 cups of flour, which should be around 360 grams. Sugar, the 3 egg yolks, and softened butter. And as soon as yeast is ready, I can put it in and mix it all together. Okay, also I like to add a pinch of cinnamon to that dough. And the yeast is almost ready. You can see how foamy it is. Okay, time for the yeast to go in with the other ingredients. And you just mix it all up. You can put it in the mixer for a few minutes or just use your hands and do it. And that's what I'm doing today. And it will take maybe 6 minutes. After I'm done, I will show you the consistency up close. Okay, and this is the consistency of it. It's soft and it's gooey. Okay, I would sprinkle a little flour around and then cover the dough and leave it until it doubles in size. It should take between 45 to 60 minutes. So while I'm waiting for the dough to rise up, I can make the crumble. And I have about 5 tablespoons of colder butter, have a cup of sugar, and have a cup of flour, and also a pinch of cinnamon. I like to mix regular sugar with some brown sugar. Brown sugar has, I would say, a little better taste. This is actually the most favorite part on any cake, or even Danish when I make Danish for my children, the crumble. They love the crumble. Of course, it's the most sweet thing. Dinner? Cookie? Yay! Of course. So then, when your crumble is ready, I like to check. Very simple way. When I pick it up and squeeze it, it stays together. But if I touch it gently, it falls apart. And that's how I want my crumble to be. So this is ready and can go on a side. And what am I going to do with the apples? The apples from a can, I want to discard all the water. I don't want any moisture. It's enough that apples itself will give me some moistures in the cake, but I don't need the water out of it. And the regular apple, I'm going to slice it into thin slices and then put a little bit brown sugar on top, a little bit of lemon, not too much, but just a little bit of that lemon flavor and a little bit of brown sugar. And the dish I'm using is about 9.5 inches. I cut the apples very thin, put some brown sugar and cinnamon on top. Crumble is ready, and also I discarded the water from those apples in a can I had. Now I'm ready to put it all together. And the dough doubled in size. It's been an hour for me. So now I want to put it in the dish. And again, my dish is about 9.5 inches wide, and it's a square. I want to distribute the dough evenly. Okay, and now the apples I had from the can, I want to put some inside. So just push in. Because I don't want the apples to be only on top. I want some apples to be inside in my cake to have this extra moisture and just the taste of apples everywhere. Okay, and this is how it looks like right now before I put the slices of apples on top. And now apples on top, and the last part, crumble. About 10 minutes and I can get this cake in the oven. So right now I'm going to preheat my oven to 350. My grandma had so many apple trees around her. All the apples were fresh whenever we wanted to have an apple cake. They were just amazing, delicious. Okay, and this is ready. 10 more minutes. I'm gonna cover it 10 minutes and then put it in the oven. Okay, ready to bake. And this cake should bake for about 50 to 60 minutes. I will set a timer for 50, and after that time, I'll check with a wooden stick. If there is nothing on a stick, it means it's done and I can take it out. If the stick has butter on it, then I'll leave it for another few minutes. Okay, finally it is ready. And it took me 55 minutes. After 50 minutes, I checked, and the wooden stick was not clean. So 5 more minutes, 55 minutes altogether. Not every oven is created equal, and I keep repeating it. I'm sorry, I apologize, but I had 3, and all 3 work differently. So check, and that's the easiest trick. Put a wooden stick, toothpick, and see if it comes clean. It's ready. So now I have to wait until it cools off to cut it in half and show you the inside. Smells good. And here it is. You can see the apples, which makes it moist. And then crunchy on the outside. Just a perfect combination. Happy baking, everyone. Thank you for watching. I would like to let you know why I am a big fan of using scale instead of the cups. I do put measurements in cups, so it's easier. As you know, I'm from Europe, so everything for me is in grams. And here in United States, any recipes you have is usually in cups. But I want you to pay attention to one thing, so take it as a tip. I learned by mistakes because I've done it before. So I have put together a flour, the same flour, all-purpose flour, into the same measuring cups. Exactly 2 cups in here and exactly 2 cups in here. But I want to measure it using the scale and show you if there is a difference and how much of a difference it can be. So here is the first 2 cups of flour, as you can see, 2 cups. And here is exactly 2 cups, all around, no cheating. And I will turn on, and there's nothing here, my scale. So it's set to 0. Maybe I should show you. So it's set to 0. If you can see. Okay, and I will put the first 2 cups in. And it says it is 248 grams. So now I will take this into a different cup, and it's empty. Put it back. It comes back to 0. And now the other 2 cups. All of it. And this one is 314. So now you can see that 2 cups are not created equal, right? They do not measure on a scale the same. So why is that? Well, it's all about handling the flour. If we are gentle with it, the flour is fluffy, it's light, and then 2 cups, nice fluffy flour. If you handle the flour, shake it, kind of bang it, on the surface somewhere, it loses its volume because it becomes dense. So you keep adding to have exactly 2 cups, right? Well, but it's much, much more heavier. It's much, much more flour that you need. So if you ever had a cake and you tried to follow the measurements and directions and the cake wasn't quite the way you hoped, it wasn't as fluffy, it wasn't as delicate, it wasn't as soft, well, maybe because there was too much flour. So it's just a tip, and I hope you will find it helpful to kind of pay attention to how we handle flours. I know how it is when you bake something and you put your heart into it, time into it, and then it doesn't come out the way you hope for. And it's frustrating. So I hope this helps. Thank you for watching.
Lisa.
What you doing? Kuba, what you doing?
I'm cleaning it.